Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the weekly Shonen Jump review. This is for the week of. It was in May.
May 27th.
Yeah, it was just pretty much at the end. May 27th of 2013. Boy, it has been a terrible week. And just to give you an early clarification, there will be no more One Piece. No more. I meant there will not be another one next week as well. Giant hiatus for Ichiro Oda and his crew.
Why? Like, is he going on vacation or something?
I don't know, but I'm sad. But enough with the tears. We have to get to Naruto. And once again, showing how Madara is completely insane at the front part.
And Mr. Hero here has major gripes about this chapter.
Yeah, Mr. Hero. That's a thing.
So yeah, Naruto's dad shows up because he can. And Naruto doesn't question, doesn't give a who, what, where, why, how. Well, he probably knows how, but why and when.
Yeah, my theory is that he's already seen so many Edo Tensei powerful ninja be resurrected, including the almost godlike Madara, so it wouldn't be impossible to see his father in Edo Tensei, but then again, it is left to suspicion.
Because, okay, if I was Naruto in this situation, I'd be like, okay, couple questions. When did this happen?
Yeah, but aside from that, I don't think Minato really cares and wants to actually know who the girl who's healing Naruto is.
Now, I also have another question. Is his last name Uzumaki or is it his mom?
His mom. Minato took the surname Uzumaki because the Uzumaki clan had... it's like that Japanese thing. You take the more infamous name. It's not like, it's just like you'll take your husband's last name. It's towards the clan. And since the Uzumaki clan is directly descendants from the Shinju clan.
Oh, okay. So yeah. It's like a superior name or something. Yeah,
the first Hokage's wife is actually an Uzumaki, who is a direct descendant for what's Naruto's mother's name again?
Kushina.
Kushina. Yeah, they're pretty much descendants after that. It was explained in past chapters when it was the recollection of what happened to Minato and Kushina.
Yeah, that was the one where that was when Naruto met the spirit of his mom. And she tells the entire story to him.
Yep. Well, actually, to get back to Minato, who is having quite the flashback of how Sakura is just like Kushinada, who's very angry.
Please be gentle with my son.
Yes. Don't kill him.
Don't kill him during sex. No. But the funny part is that Minato is like, "Oh, is that your girlfriend?" And Naruto's like, yeah, pretty much.
I suppose you could
say it! They're not supposed to know!
Well, we don't know that. It's still that whole mystery thing. Who's going to be with Naruto? I don't care. Anyways, this is actually...
I could go with either Sakura or Hina. I don't care. Either one.
Yep, well,
I'll be happy with either one. And then the other four Hokages show up in epic fashion.
You mean 3?
Well, yeah, the other 3 show up in epic fashion. And Sakura's like, "Oh, the third Hokage! I thought you were dead!"
Well, it is Edo Tensei. You know what? Why don't people get the fact that the Edo Tensei is here? They see Madara. Madara has been killing them since the start. But of course, Madara is
Madara!
Yep, he's pretty much the most excited one in this battlefield right now. However, it seems that the Senju doesn't want to actually play with Madara yet. It's disappointing him in frozen form. Okay. Literally, he freezes in his epic face and goes like, "Hey, you just denied me, bitch. This is a problem."
And then Naruto senses him.
Well, actually, not really. It's because that Minato says that somebody familiar is on his way.
And suddenly he thinks about Sasuke. Okay, and now guess who where...
Number 2 problem for Mr.
Problem
Hero.
number 2. Minato goes in... I forget what it's called.
The foxtail.
Yeah, the fox. Well, like the Nine Tails full form.
Yeah, it's that same golden aura that covers Naruto.
Yeah, and his hair starts to shape, like the fox's ears. And it's like, okay, one, I thought it was supposed to be Naruto that since he's the one who possesses the nine tails, he's the only one who can do it. But Minato, he's a totally separate body, and it also begs another question: is his soul back in his own body, in his dead body?
I have actually things for that. An explanation for both. One, the Edo Tensei, yes. It brings back the soul of the person because the soul is like the huge power source of chakra. So if you use the Edo Tensei, you bring that person's soul back along with all their ninjutsu.
Yes, but that's the thing. It's the nine tails that is when you have the spirit of the nine tails, that's when he'll be that's when Naruto is able to do it because he has the nine tails. Minato does not.
However, here's that explanation number 2. Back in the original chapter, the one that comes out in Japan, it is said that the reason why Minato could actually go into this form is because that it's not due to the Nine Tails chakra completely, it's due to the fusion between the seal ninjutsu that was made for the Nine Tails with the Nine Tails chakra. So in short, creating a whole new transformation. That's why even B can't use this type of form along with his Biju. So why this is possible is because Minato was actually the one who created the seal for the Uzumaki clan, being that it has the spiral Uzumaki symbol on it. He created it in a reason to actually be a better way of sealing the Nine Tails instead of having to kill the previous host so that the Biju or the Kyuubi would go into the next one. Before the old process was that you had to kill the previous person of the tailed beast in order for it to go into another vessel. This, however, was Minato's design, and Minato's design was used to control the Nine Tails chakra through a seal. So that's the only best reason that we could come up with. That's why Kurama, the Nine-Tailed Fox, is not too surprised by this because he, in fact, had the seal on him for quite some time.
Okay. So
Enough magic design. Now we go back into ninjutsu awesomeness. Minato throws 3 of his special shuriken, transporting the others in this awesome fashion.
4 Crimson Ray formation!
And if anybody remembers this, back in the first generation Naruto, this was actually used in the Chunin exam final battle against Orochimaru and the 3rd Hokage, but on a grander scale this time because it's completely encompassed the Biju in it. And now the Lord Hokage the First has decided to use a special jutsu that has literally shut down all of the Biju's tails.
Yeah, and then guess who else shows up?
You know, it's just a hodgepodge of who's people to show.
I can just hear the fangirls screaming right now.
Since Sasuke came back, I think the fangirls stopped being emotionally emo sensitive about him, and now he's the hero again. Just makes my nipples hard.
And Sasuke's like, hey.
Well, come on.
Yeah, this is like,
I'm too cool to show an expression.
I'm smiling, can't you tell?
Anyways, it seems that...
Okay, and everybody else has the right reaction to this. They're like, what are you doing here?
Yep, however, Naruto is not exactly impressed because he's always wanted to see him here. However, Sasuke actually intends to tell them all what happened, however, that his journey has actually allowed him to gain a new type of focus, and that focus is...
to become a Hokage.
Now, this actually works. If this is your problem number 3...
Yeah.
This actually works because since he had already talked to the previous Hokages before and learned of the truth behind the Hidden Leaf Village and what it actually means to be a leader of ninja, then I know your argument on this one. Sasuke is more of the cold and logical leader, sort of like a Spock.
I find it highly illogical.
And Naruto is the more...
Captain Kirk.
Yeah, he's a little bit more bright and very gutsy. This is both towards their personalities perfectly. And, of course, because of this little reveal to his goals...
Could Kishimoto be a Trekkie?
Well, now I know why a whole lot of the people in red shirts die in this series.
Ha yeah, it seems like Naruto is blonde and Kirk was blonde, and Sasuke's black haired, and Spock is black haired. Only the styles are different.
That's the reason you connect these two.
Yeah.
You know, for a guy who's colorblind, you see blonde very well, don't you? Anyways, everybody is in the same reaction as most of the readers when hearing about this. That they're completely flabbergasted, shocked, and somewhat insulted because, well, why would they want to leave the fate of their village, the leadership of the Hidden Leaf Village, to a missing ninja?
Or not a missing ninja, a rogue ninja.
Well, they call it a missing nin for them, so it's
Meh.
like... Anyways, it seems that Naruto finds this as a challenge and will also become Hokage.
So is this considered task a number 2 complete? Because technically he didn't save Sasuke.
Well, it all depends, because they may in fact still have their epic battle, because we don't really know how a Hokage is chosen.
Well, the thing about Naruto is that he has 3 tasks. Well, he had 3 tasks.
One to control the Nine Tails.
No. No, the first task was to get the village to like him. After he defeated Pain, everybody started to love him.
Mm-hmm.
Two was to save Sasuke. That I'm not sure if this even counts as an accomplishment. And the third was to become Hokage.
Well, aside from that, we'll see about that, because obviously now there's a conflict with the third and final task.
Yeah, so yeah, now he's got Sasuke and who was like that grandson of the third Hokage? I forget his name because we haven't seen him forever.
You know what? I'm just gonna call him Young Punk, because at this point I forgot his name too. It's no disrespect to Kishimoto, but holy hell, do you know how to make a character who's damn near forgettable?
Yeah. So now Team 7, or at least in the manga says Cell 7. I don't know, but I'm gonna call him Team 7. Is finally back, and I did kind of cheat to the
Don't
next,
you dare.
to Nisha, and I got
Back to the next
I'm not gonna spoil anything, but it was actually great.
Yep. Andrew broke the rules. The hero broke the rules. Everybody acknowledged that he broke the rules. You broke them.
I patented it, I packaged it, and now I'm selling it.
Yep. Well, aside from being a total cheater, we have to get to One Punch Man, which
Now
when we
they're-
left off.
Now they're still sparring, and
like we left off, it's still the battle the sparring match, if you could call it that, between
Saitama and
Genos.
yeah, and Genos, and he goes cyborg on his ass.
Yep. Now he's using both of his fists and using the right term, incinerate. And of course, misses, and Saitama pokes him in the cheek and
Behind
says,
you. Okay, I win.
However, Genos is kind of pissed off for the fact that he thinks that Saitama is not taking him on seriously, and of course he says that the whole point behind it is to immobilize him, or to obviously defeat him. However, of course, Genos' main goal is still to find out the secret behind how Saitama fights. However, Saitama is stating that he's been serious the entire time. Genos doesn't believe this and tries to kick him.
Rise! Ah!
Yep, but of course he loses his balance to his kick, and Saitama is actually right behind him with a literal giant punch that says
Fist of
death on
death.
it.
Fist of death.
But stops right before hitting Genos in the face.
I'm hungry.
Hey, let's get some udon. You know, I love this character. Let's fight and let's eat later. He's kind of like a Luffy character.
Oh, gee, like every shonen main hero.
Anyways, it seems that Genos has realized that the fight is over. However, he feels as though that even though his training may actually pull off, he will never actually be at the same strength as Saitama. Seeing at the background of that punch behind Genos has left a giant... Oh my god.
I don't know if that's smoke or if that's fire.
Either which, it's a giant ball of death coming from Saitama. The blandest fucking character.
He is in a different dimension.
Well, aside from that, we now have some Bleach to get back to, and oh my god, am I waiting for this one. Finally, Ichigo has realized that he is a Quincy hollow Shinigami hodgepodge of things. However, of course, as he's leaving, Ishin asks him what he's going to do next. And just like the plot demands, something does happen. Oetsu's, I'm just going to say, his assistant, pops up in a cloud of smoke and comes to get Ichigo. She explains that they went through the Chokaimon, a superior version of the Hakumon.
That sounds like a name of a Digimon. Chokomon!
So does Bakumon, but nobody made this same reference now, did they? Anyways, she's dropped Ichigo back once again into the hole of all the Yasuchi. And of course, Oetsu is there to bring forth his wit and his interesting character style.
So basically he's going to be doing that test again.
Yep, but this time it's a little different. Being that all the Yasuchi beforehand were trying to beat him to death, all of them have now bowed to him.
Lord Ichigo!
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised seeing that how this character is literally a Bleach Jesus. Anyways, Oetsu seems a little surprised.
Now, what's the point of the test to choose the right one?
It's not really to choose the right one, it's looking for acceptance. Like Oetsu mentioned before, the Yasuchi are actually blank Zanpakuto. Mm-hmm. They are essentially the things that will be made into a sword. The only difference is that the Yasuchi are essentially things that are... Oh god, how do I figure this out? It's like if your soul was made into pieces, and it's like that Lord Voldemort thing. You separate it into a bunch of them. There's one in particular that's in the room. Ichigo will have to try and find that one and gain that one's particular respect, while all the others are trying to kill him. However, at this realization of his own soul being that of a Shinigami, Quincy, and a Hollow, all of the Yasuchi acknowledge him for this fact. Because either he's so powerful or that his soul has been fully realized. And so he takes the hand of one Yasuchi, literally out of nowhere, and he picks him, and it's the black skin starts to dissolve off of him, revealing a hollow mask, which is the same hollow mask that Ichigo once wore. Finally, that showed up again for a long time. And, of course, this seems to be his Zanpakuto. And, of course, now Oetsu is ready to restore his sword to normal. However, we now take a little back from that and notice that Squad 10 is having a little training session in their dojo. However, two of the officers seem to be wondering about the fate of Squad 10, knowing that Captain Toshiro Hitsugaya's Bankai had been stolen by the Quincy's. However, they notice that Toshiro has actually come to the training session to actually better his kendo skills because his Bankai was stolen. So, actually, you know what? This is a pretty responsible leader. He's going to focus back on his swordsmanship so that he could actually fight at a good strength again. Kind of responsible, right? You'd think that he'd say, like, oh, it's impossible. Nope, these guys are actually pretty damn noble. However, then we go back into the forest and find Hisage and the captain of Squad 9. Squad 9. I keep forgetting that Tosen is no longer with us. And informs Hisage that he needs to perform his Bankai. Now, beforehand, everybody in the past, his Shikai was revealed that it's Kazi Shini, which is essentially two backwards, upwards scythes, which are pretty damn awesome, but also that the Shikai is extremely dangerous. However, the captain makes him aware that in the next battle, his Bankai could possibly be stolen, and he needs somebody else to take care of Squad 9 if that were to ever happen. So he calls upon Mashiro, why she's here now, and just to make you guys remember, Mashiro is the first assistant captain of Squad 9 before he was... before all the group was holified back in Aizen's era. And, of course, he asks her to go holified and gives Hisage a nice punch. And of course, God, this is so stupid. She is now the super ninth assistant captain.
And she's wearing like a Sentai mask.
Actually, that's her hollow mask.
Really? Because it looks like a Sentai mask.
Yeah, that's why it's kind of silly. But dude, was that thing dangerous in the battle against Aizen's hollows? Seriously, that thing was like monstrous. Anyways, of course, it seems that the squad captain 9 isn't exactly enjoying Hisage being so weak, and of course says that he won't go easy like that softy Tosen. And that's a problem, seeing as how Hisage actually looked up to Tosen regardless of what he did. Tosen still believed in justice, even though his path was besmirched by Aizen, and Hisage won't take anybody bad-mouthing Tosen's memory. You don't do that to an obviously loyal assistant captain. But now we come back to Iba, who's training out at a mountainside next to a damp cave, and is lifting rocks 1,000 times and doing other exercises to make sure that he's ready for the next battle with the Quincy's. However, he's also here with Captain Komamura, who seems to be talking to somebody in the cave. And who that person is?
A giant dog.
A giant bear-like creature, which he calls the Great Elder. And that the dog thing actually starts talking and reveals that he actually knows Kumamura by going by his first name, Sajin, and warns him that why he's come back, he's got a lot of guts for coming back. But anyways, we'll see what happens next week on that.
And we will also get to... what's the next thing? Oh, whoops.
Whoa, you really want to get to the Sekaway, don't you?
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
Yeah, so we'll get to Toriko. No, it's... Look at the page numbers!
I don't like your iPad.
My iPad doesn't like you.
Anyways, with Toriko, I'm going to have to do a little explanation here because, unfortunately, and Hiro gets to bash me for this one, I did cheat a bit.
Yeah, cheater!
Yeah, I know, I'm a terrible person. Anyways, this chapter, however, isn't the one that I cheated on. This one is actually a little bit different, and I'm going to say this is just a match of who is more intimidating. Anyways.
And Toriko's like, I have to protect you, my gay boyfriend.
You know, seriously, that's got to be one of the biggest qualities to this. However, Star June is not really impressed by this because, of course, he says that no matter how many times you fall, I'm the one who allows you to stand. It's not Komatsu. So, in short, I'm the one who puts you down and brings you back up. It's not Komatsu. Stop cheating on me already. Anyways.
I wish I could quit you!
Anyways, however, Toriko comes back by saying that Star June hasn't been taking him seriously and hasn't been going full power. However, Toriko has been going at his full power since the start of the battle, and proves it by giving him the probably strangest death stare I've seen, and actually in a intimidation-like panel, shows half of Star June's face literally getting blown off, which of course is actually a giant shockwave that comes out of nowhere and really literally
only cuts his hair. My hair!
Well, aside from that, it seems that Toriko is once again beating down Star June for dodging the attack, even though that he only sensed the intimidation of his attack. It's sort of like that foresight thing. Like, oh, I know I'm going to get killed by something. Better dodge it. Oh, it actually happened.
Oh, no, you mean like that Sherlock Holmes thing where they think about...
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Except for Sherlock Holmes, that's calculations. For this one, it's more like that Sixth Sense sort of thing. Anyways, it seems that...
And this is so much like Fist of the North Star. Overly muscled and beaten up.
You know what? I've got no problem with it, seeing as none of them are in the gayest clothing possible. I mean, come on. You know, He-Man, Thundercats. Don't tell me those guys weren't completely out there.
Except for the 2011 Thundercats where they weren't as muscled.
Yeah, and actually wore decent clothing, you know.
Yeah.
Not so skin tight where you can see Lionel's lion bulge.
Ugh. But on Chitara, I have no problem.
Yeah, nobody ever did. Anyways, back to the Toriko chapter. Once again, Toriko is constantly putting down Starjun as though that he's holding back, while Toriko still tells him that he's been going full force on him, and why Starjun doesn't seem to accept that is kind of silly. I mean, why would Starjun not go seriously on a guy who's literally nearly bifurcated his head? And of course, he thinks that, oh, well, since you've been going, strong since the start of our battle, this is pretty much your limit. However, Toriko says that he's not sure what his limit is, and once again, with another Sixth Sense scene, we see literally Starjun getting blown in half.
But of course, he dodges it.
Yep, but it doesn't come without its cost, getting blown into a mountainside again. And of course, Komatsu is here to see this. And once again, of course, Starjun still denies the idea that he wasn't holding back at the first time. Of course, Toriko comes back with saying that he hasn't been holding back and that this is simply just him unleashing this power. So,
oh, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I haven't done this. Shut up!
Yeah, I told you that this chapter would be kind of a bore fest.
I mean, this is like...
I'm not holding back. Yes, you are. No, you're not. Yes, I am.
Like, this is like one of the biggest formulas of a shonen manga. You have to keep talking about how, like, oh, I'm so powerful, I have no limits.
It's essentially the first part of, and not the abridged version, but the fight between Frieza and Vegeta. Like, oh, you're holding back, and yes, I am. Why would I want to? And don't talk about your limits. Just do it. Just transform or get more powerful. Jesus Christ. And it's pretty much with this one. However, Toriko explains that all of this is actually leading up to an attack called the Ultimate Routine, which of course goes into one of those fancy sort of one-pagers.
By the way, that Indian guy, doesn't he look familiar from a Dragon Ball?
Who?
That Indian guy from that Indian village where like a
oh, you mean Shada?
Yeah, where Korin's tower was.
Oh, wait, Mr. Popo.
No, the American Indian.
Oh, the American Indian. Sorry,
yeah,
Native American, because there was another Indian like fell in the world tournament.
Yeah.
Yeah, but as he's actually, Andrew's kind of right because in a flashback, Toriko is actually taught this by Ayamura. Whoops.
Stop pushing buttons!
Who is actually one of the leaders of the Gourmet Knights, where Toriko has learned some tricks from him before, and is now going to learn the ultimate routine from him, which Toriko is going to actually use on Starjun.
So, are we talking routine like a routine in how you eat your food, or?
You see, that's the thing I'm going to talk about next week, because like I said, I cheated because I saw a future chapter. And trust me on this, audience, I'm going to have to explain this as best I can. But getting to an actually exciting chapter, a much better climactic battle than the Toriko one, is World Trigger. And as we left off before, Yuma was actually getting wounded by the members of Border who were attacking him. And of course, they're relentless in their attack, being that this new guy, his name, the one with the spear and actually made Yuma's neck get cut, is Yosuke. I don't really like this guy because he's sort of like got a god complex. He's sort of like...
you mean he has a superiority complex?
Yeah, like he wants to fight people at their best, but he's still willing to beat people down, but he feels like a bully for doing it. Anyways, back to the battle where Jin is actually still watching them. Yuma dodges another spear attack, however, is fired upon by Seiju. And as he still continues to dodge their attacks, he uses his bound ability again. I like to say boost, but it's their manga, so uses the bound ability to get more ground. However,
and his arm gets chopped off.
Yep. Well, shot off. Chopped off. That's the only thing I could say.
Hey, has anyone seen my arm? You can't miss it. It's black.
That's still got to be one of the best jokes. Anyways, it seems that one of the snipers got a clear shot on him. However, of course, Yuma doesn't seem to... I mean, literally, his arm has been shut off, and he hasn't lifted his eyebrows at all in surprise. He's still got that blank expression on his face like Saitama does.
I guess neighbors don't have any nervous systems.
It'll grow back. Just a flesh wound.
Your arm's cut off. No, it isn't.
Anyways, of course, Yosuke starts to brag again about the whole if he's still got to beat somebody down weaker than him, he's still got to feel like a bully. And I don't like this guy because the way he's drawn, he's always looking down on people.
I guess that's kind of the point. Superiority complex.
Well, anyways, it seems that Osamu's worried about Yuma. However, it seems that Replica is actually... tells us in detail why that Yuma's having some issues with this. For one, it seems that the group led by Shuji is actually quite skilled, are pretty much veterans, and are actually good at hunting neighbors, so they're very coordinated. And of course, that's why Yuma tried to jump, because he wanted to get higher ground and a better way of evading them. However, the snipers were very accurate, so it was all for naught. The other reason is actually due to Osamu. Yuma believes that because Osamu had just got promoted, he didn't want to be a detriment in protecting Yuma. So he feels as though he doesn't want him to intervene, he doesn't. That's why he wanted him to call Jin in instead, to explain the situation. However, Osamu notes that he's a good neighbor because it seems that his little sister notices that Yuma is also a neighbor and is still a bit of shock. However, Osamu quotes that he's not like the other ones. He's a kind person. He's my friend. He saved my life before.
Friendship!
And of course his sister, we don't need that, notices that and knows that he's a good person too. And of course this is where Shiju breaks out his gun again, and this time fires a round of bullets again. Yuma uses his shield, but to actually no avail. These bullets actually transform into cylinder... is that hexagon or pentagon? No, it's a hexagon.
Yeah, it's a hexagon. When you say pentagon, you're talking about 5 sides.
Yeah. They transform into hexagon pillars and actually are inside of him. And, of course, this is actually due to the fact that this is it's actually a type of trigger that uses bullets and transforms the Tryon around them to become weight. So it's like a gravity-like ability.
Yeah, so they're trying to slow him down.
Yes. However, Yuma is, pretty much God compared to these guys. Analyzes the attack, actually combines 2 different types of his abilities, and guess what he does? He fires off several rounds across the area of the same ability that they used on him. So now both Shiju and Yosuke have both the same hexagon pillars inside of them and are weighed down by it. And of course Yuma is interested in the trigger that Yosuke was using, picks up the spear and notices that the tip can actually transform. So now wonder that he was able to hit him because, if he's got that hook on the side and, if the blade can transform at will...
And the
snipers
is kind of thinking, he's kind of deciding whether to take him down or just stand down.
Yep, that's because Jin shows up and, says that, you guys can't take him down. And, of course, after disabling everyone, Yuma decides, hey, let's talk about this like we did before, except, with you guys not trying to kill me.
and so now we get to Nisekoi, which is kind of a time skip where now we kind of see Oradina. Yeah, quote Oradina is talking about how Spring is awesome and how she's gonna start high school now.
Wait, why is this a time skip?
well, there have been time skips in this series.
Well, aside from, how much time has gone by, this new girl seems to be starting off in high school and is all happy about it.
Until a bunch of punks get in front of her and she faints.
Yep, she pretty much is overwhelmed by their intimidation. They're not even intimidating. They're blushing. They're like perverts who are ready to whip it out.
and she's then saved by Ichijo,
who is in an epic shadowy figure, but she cannot see his face. However, as she is still unconscious, it seems that Ichijo has two of his bodyguards at hand to actually deal with the other punks. And of course, she wakes up at the school hospital, I guess being brought there by a epic shining white knight who came to my rescue. That's always the best way to start off this kind of thing.
And I guess she's fallen in love with this shiny white knight, even though she's never seen him.
Yep, she wasn't able to see Ichijo's face, so, mystery. So she finally gets to her classroom and sits next to a very pretty girl.
Yep, a very, very pretty non-Japanese girl.
Yep, a foreigner. And usually that's the whole Japanese innuendo. Most foreigners to them seem more like that exotic thing. Like how it would seem to us. Or like in other words, like if a new student came all the way from another country, had like that accent or had that kind of look.
Yeah.
Then it would seem more like, it's like a person from Nicaragua who would talk in their, who would talk in that accent as if they just literally got off the boat.
Yeah, and so we find out her name is Paul McCoy, so I guess it's American.
No, whatever one. English.
Just like a Chitoge. And so.
Well, it's not impossible, seeing as how a mafia is here.
Yeah. But the thing is, Paul is not interested in learning her name, bitch.
That's because she's cold-hearted assassin.
Yeah, and she brought grenades. Just shows them off on the table.
I know the term whipping out was probably the word I would use for those 4 perverts who tried to get to this one girl, but seriously, whipping out grenades is no better than whipping out your dick. You're just gonna get the same reactions. What is this person doing with this?
And so the new girl is starting to freak out, and then we just transition to her taking papers, and she bumps into someone. Oh, I dropped my papers.
Time for a reason to respond to the plot, which Ichijo is here to help because he's a nice guy.
So he's helping her out, and I didn't get deep into this, but didn't Ichijo kind of ask like, if she was related to anybody? Because she looks familiar.
Well, he just sort of seems to question it, and of course, they just simply talk and banter on as they're delivering the papers. However, he then says his name. His name is Ichijo Hojio, what is it?
Wait. Where is it?
Ichijo
Kyoko.
Yeah, after she hears his name, she tends to get scared. Like, shocked. And it turns out that there are a couple rumors about him.
Oh, how he's the son of a boss of a yakuza, and there's like this funny image of him with like devil horns and like a snake tongue.
I don't
know. Evil.
I will give this author credit. The expressions that he gives his characters, especially the very manga-esque ones, are damn near funny.
And she sees him. The son of a yakuza boss with a
supermodel girlfriend who constantly womanizes with other girls.
Wait. Mega Fox girlfriend.
Mega Fox.
It's someone's like saying Megan Fox.
You know what? Nobody's proud to be with her anyway.
No, and and also an entourage of hot babes.
You know what? I'm fine with that. That's the guy I want to follow to my grave.
Yeah.
Where do I sign up?
And so she's freaking out. She's freaking out, saying, "You better stay away from me." And because we get.
You know what? The plot demands certain things happen, but why the plot demands that there's a gust of wind inside a hallway of a school
And almost showing her panties, which it only shows her back, which you don't really see it, but
it's an upskirt shot for the front.
And she kind of does like a Marilyn Manson, putting her.
Marilyn Monroe.
Oh yeah.
Marilyn Manson.
Sorry.
Wow. I don't want to think about that, but now I just did.
Marilyn Monroe.
You fucker.
They sound the same.
No, they're not. Okay,
they're both with Marilyn.
Oh, whatever. Anyways, back to the Sekaway, and she gets all
embarrassed
and mad, and said, "Did you see them?"
Nope. I didn't see anything. And Ichigo gets a big slap in the face.
Yep, because he can't deny it. He saw them completely. And of course, Oradina shows up, which the other girl seems to go at her and asks what she's doing here. And this is where we find out who the girl is.
She's the sister of Oradina.
Her name is Haru Oradina. And from now on in the series, we will be calling Oradina by her first name, since before there was no way to actually reference to.
Yeah.
But now, since there's two people named Onordia, the little sister that we just read about is Haru, and the older sister, the one that Ichigo has a crush on, is
Kosaki.
Yep. So,
Dum.
However, before we get into Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal and the rest of the chapters, I do have one thing to announce. Nisekoi has been authorized for an anime release.
Yay!
So all of you out there, it's still in project form. So at this point, there's not going to be any real DVD. There won't be any pre-releases or anything or any information regarding it, since it literally just got the flag to go. It's pretty much like the Fairy Tail one. You're going to have to wait a couple months for it to actually get it going. Anyways, now to Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal. And to be honest, we're going to skip a little bit of the plot, even though it's an epic battle between two dragons. The Galaxy-Eyes Photon Dragon and the Shark Bahuma, my personal favorite. Anyways, aside from the battle between them, which is so epic between Kite and Shark, the biggest plot problem is that when Kite finally gets the upper hand and when they're finally at both at near a draw state, something odd happens. Now, if anybody in the crowd knows what an actual Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel encompasses, it encompasses 2 to 4 people. But since this duel is to 2 people exactly, Kite and Shark, that means that only 2 people can participate.
Unfortunately,
but due to the plot,
a fourth person comes in.
Third person.
Third person comes in.
Who exceeds summon 2 different number monsters, catches both Kite and Shark
with Cain and Abel's Devil.
You know what? I have a problem with this because this blows the fucking rules out of the water. Well, they were just dueling in water.
Rules? No, card game rules. What's that?
Screw the rules. This guy must have money.
Holy crap, he's Kaiba!
Oh, damn. Anyways, the problem I have about this chapter in particular is the name of the 2 ones. I have no setback against religious names,
Bible references. But the thing is, if this card becomes real, they'll probably have to change the name because it might be offensive.
Which is why I don't like that, because of course this goes under the same guidelines of why the hell we needed Slifer the Sky Dragon to be changed in name. What was wrong with Osiris? They named Ra an obelisk, and obelisk is simply a structure made in Egyptian culture, which is supposed to represent something.
And Ra is a real Egyptian god.
So why the world they needed to change Osiris, which is it's not that bad. We have a card named Hades.
Well, but let's look at it this way. Amelie's little Karibo would actually have a joke around that. Slifer, no swiping.
Yeah. But anyways, we now have to get back to Dragon Ball, which is the final part of Gohan and Piccolo's training. Because
Keep calm and dodge!
Yep. God, you are just going to go with the bridge references every time we review one of these.
Because it's Dragon Ball. And so yeah, Gohan is training with Piccolo, and for some reason, Piccolo can just shoot laser eyes like Superman.
You know what? I believe it, because you know what?
Why hasn't he ever used it before?
Because it was probably weak. If it wasn't able to kill Gohan, what do you think purpose would it be against the Saiyans?
I don't know.
Annoying? That was a mosquito bite, wasn't it? Damn it, I knew this wouldn't work. Anyways, their training progresses while Son Goku continues. You know what? I think I want to use Son Goku from now on.
No, I'm just gonna use Goku.
Alright, we'll just Goku. Finally reaches Snake Way, and seeing how there's nowhere else to go but up to a small little dinky planet for King Kai, one of the masters of the universe.
And then gravity takes over.
Yep. And of course, we're not going to go with the abridged references either. The fact,
monkey.
Yep. Oh, yep. Monkey time. Yep. Goku mistakes King Kai for the monkey, and that's when the real King Kai shows up.
Now, you before we started this, you told me that you had some gripes about the color.
Well, I had no gripes. I just wanted to at least make reference to how the color images work for this one. The first thing to point out is one of the more obvious ones. In the original anime, King Kai's clothing was of black, red, and yellow. However, the sleeves were also red at the time as well. In this colored manga version, the sleeves and I guess his undershirts are all tinted lime green. Well, actually more of like a spring green sort of color.
Mm-hmm.
And the other one is to actually notice, and this one is why I say this one is gone beyond noticed, is that in the anime, the sky was all yellow as well, along with the same color as the clouds around the area.
Mm-hmm.
In this one, the sky is sort of like a violet purple. It's sort of like a clearer one, like a softer color. I'm not sure if this was the original design for the color scheme. Oh, come on.
Akira Toriyama.
Yeah, what he had in mind for the colors of King Kai, or any of the colors that have been going on since this colored series began. But I have no gripes about it. I just wanted to point it out to make people aware that this isn't really anime related. It's due to what I guess Akira Toriyama had in mind.
Well, I guess what he originally wanted it to be.
And you know
maybe I don't know.
And that's not a bad thing to consider, because I mean, certain series can get away with hodgepodge colors going everywhere. I mean, with Fairy Tail and One Piece, you never really expect what the characters are to actually look like until you see them. However, Dragon Ball was pretty standard, since most of the characters either had the same color scheme or just had ones different, to the idea that since the Saiyan armors didn't really have much of a difference in design to them, the color was the only thing that was going to matter.
So yeah, one of Goku's trials in order to be trained by King Kai is to make him laugh, and he succeeds with really bad jokes.
Yep, King Kai is amused by puns. You know, train with the master who's going to reveal to you several secrets of the universe.
I guess it makes sense because I know Japan love puns.
You know what, then? Why don't I just go there and say, hey, guys, I just came back from Egypt, but you know what? I was standing in so much denial. You know, make me your president.
Japan doesn't have presidents; they have prime ministers.
Prime minister, whatever. Start bowing to me, give me the sake. Anyway,
and so that's it for the Shonen Jump reviews. Now we get to Fairy Tail.
Yeah, and like I said before, we will not be seeing One Piece again. Very, very sad face. is that there is some hiatus going on, but we'll get back to it later on.
But we just don't know why.
Well, you know what? Everybody takes off time for reasons of their own, and I'm not going to bash people for it because it does take a while for that creative flow to keep going, or they just have personal issues to go to. Maybe Ichiro Oda was sick for a while.
Maybe. So now it's now in Fairy Tail.
A battle between dragons and dragon masters.
And so now.
And so it's a battle between Mother Core and Atlas, the two dragons, and Natsu and Sting Rogue.
Oh, which we come to find out that it is Rogue.
Well, I just call him Sting Rogue because to tell the difference between the present Rogue and the future one.
Sting Rogue is wondering, how he was able to break the spell.
Well, it's actually pretty easy to do it. As long as the dragon acknowledges another human being, the spell goes kaput.
Yeah, and
that is stupid. Oh, this all-powerful spell to control dragons is done in by the simplest thing ever, and yes, Taya Gardner can have this all the way. The thing to stop this spell is friendship.
Friendship!
You win this one, little Karibo, but yes.
But let's see, this is Fairy Tail. You just have to accept it. You can't get mad for it.
Magic. Can't argue with it.
So,
anyways, the dragon battle ensues by Atlas biting into Mother Core.
And so, yeah, like, the dragons are just gonna fight each other, and Mother Core shoots out a big attack.
However, it doesn't actually affect Atlas due to the fact that he's made completely of fire.
And
which is damn near awesome because he tells that the Hellfire can't actually be destroyed and that this boy has eaten the fire.
And now Natsu's become unstoppable!
Yep, and wow.
Damn!
Super Falcon Punch to Mother Guerra. Nearly bringing her down. And of course, the king and his soldiers are actually witnessing this battle. And of course, the king seems to be on the down low of how this actually works. A battle between dragons and humans, and dragons and humans versus humans. This is truly a battle of dragons and
humans.
So this is the Great Dragon Festival that everybody has been waiting so long to find out what it actually is. Sting Rogue then goes back into his ultimate form, taking on Natsu while Mother Grey is still fighting off against the dragon. While everybody else is seeming to have quite the difficulty. Even Cobra. That's a problem. You fuck.
The king is just very dumbfounded by this.
Well, he probably knows it. He is the king of Fiore, and he probably knows what the Dragon Festival is, since it did give birth to freaking Echnologia.
Yeah, and
then we find that Rogue is having trouble with the dragon he's fighting.
And it has come to where it actually knows him.
Well, that's because he's been ordered.
Why?
No, do you love your freaking?
Shut up! Shut up!
I think we should use one of my systems next time.
No.
Anyways, said advertisement about Swifter. The dragon has been ordered not to kill Rogue because, of course, the order came from the Rogue of the future, and will become king of the dragons at that point. So where's Zeref in all this?
So we all thought it was going to be Zeref, but no, this has nothing to do with Zeref.
Well, we'll see later on, because both of them had the same type of, both the future Lucy and Sting Rogue had both the same aura and magic feeling of Zeref.
I guess so. And so Rogue is getting a little emotional.
However,
over his destiny.
Yep. However, he seems just smirking off because, well, he doesn't believe that he'll become as corrupt as the future Sting Rogue will become.
But all go like it is your destiny.
Now this is where the thing gets confusing. Bringing back to the fight between him and Gajil, the shadow had his own shadow had possessed him and started using more powerful shadow techniques. This seems to be where things get off. Um, the shadow itself seems to be his true nature, which I'm not sure. Why is this only in Rogue? Why is he the only one affected by his own shadow?
I
It's like
have
being
no idea.
So it's odd to have that happen. So Rogue, we all know Rogue is not going to go bad. I'm not going to use the pun. Rogue going rogue. Oh fuck! I just did it. Shit. Well, anyways, it seems that he's having problems with it, even though we all know that he's not going to go bad. But now we have a reason to believe that this thing can take control of him. However, we see that Ultir is surveilling him.
In her, in her sexy pose.
You know what? I'm just gonna go with it that he's gonna put every single woman in a sexy pose, even if they're the most powerful people on Earth.
Yeah.
Anyways, it seems we go to a small flashback where Ultir was helping out Natsu after his first battle with Stingrogue, and of course after Natsu laments on future Lucy's demise, he goes out to say that Rogue did this. However, both Ultir and her assistant are willing to go and take him out. However, Natsu actually sort of
actually wants to do it himself.
not really. Because Ultir thinks that if they destroy the present Rogue, then that'll take out the future Sting Rogue, which will eventually kill future Lucy. However, Natsu says don't touch the past Rogue because he's not the one who did that. I just want you to watch him to see what happens. He'll take on Sting Rogue, while Ultir and the others actually survey the present Rogue and see what actually happens to him.
And,
We should use my system.
No! So yeah, I guess Natsu is just going to fight the future Rogue, while the girls just keep an eye on the present Rogue, to make sure he doesn't turn evil. But the minute he does,
Ultir is going to finish him off.
Yeah, and kill him.
Which would be kind of weird, but to be honest, in her dark nature, that probably isn't too far off because she's had to do a lot of things for the so-called greater good, and this is probably just one of them. She's a more harsher member of Phantom Lord.
So yeah, that's pretty much it for all our reviews.
All right. And just a little message from Shonen Jump as well. They're having a manga contest.
Yep, and I'm going to enter.
Yeah, you go ahead and enter.
And I'm going to win.
Anyways, the particulars of the contest is to actually make a complete storyboard and manga of your own choice. So, but this one's actually different. You're going to be judged by 3 individual head editors of 3 branches: the Japanese branch, the American branch, and the Chinese branch. This is where the 3 main publishers are centered in. I mean, in order to get Korean copies, you'd have to go to the Chinese one. They don't have a whole lot of branches set out. They have it in America, they have it in Japan, they have it in China.
Yeah.
And all the ones from America go straight to Europe.
Yeah, and the finalists are going to be decided by the editor-in-chiefs, and whichever finalists are there
will get their very own one-shot in Shonen Jump.
Not exactly. The finalists are going to be chosen by the editor-in-chiefs, while everybody else
does a vote count.
Yeah, does a vote count.
Anyways, but like I said before, the winners of whoever the editor-in-chiefs choose will in fact have a one-shot in their particular Shonen Jump. So, in some cases, if you participate in America, you may not actually be chosen for the American branch one. You may actually be chosen for the Chinese one, which will only appear in the Chinese one.
Yeah, because when you submit your work, your work will be translated into the other two languages.
So, with that being said, we may end up reviewing some of these one shots. So, look out for that, guys, because we really want to see what all the Americans out there got. We know that there's no shortage of imagination in Japan or China, but we want to see what you guys can do. And, of course, let's also cheer on Hiro since he's also striving to also become a manga artist as well, and he's got a couple ideas. Don't you dare give anything away.
I'm not. I don't want to.
Anyways, we'll leave it at that.
Because I don't want any of you stealing my idea.
Whoa! What's hostility towards the fans? Damn, man. Anyways, guys, we'll leave it at that. This has been Fonzie,
And this is Hero.
and we're signing off.